Welcome back to Black History Month Daily. My name is Kevin. Today's subject is going to be black codes. You know about slavery and you know about the reneging of 40 acres and a mule, but what do you know about black codes? Well, black codes were restrictive laws, and I do repeat, laws, designed to limit the freedom of blacks and ensure their availability as a cheap labor force after slavery had been abolished. Black codes restricted blacks' people's right to own property, conduct business, buy and sell or lease land, and move freely through public spaces. I experienced black codes in effect at a very early age, although at the time, due to my youth, I didn't know what was happening. My mother took my sister and I to visit our grandmother in the small southern town of New Bern, Tennessee. One day we accompanied my grandmother to a local store so that she could cash her check. While waiting in line, each time a white person came in, my grandmother would bow her head and take a step back, yielding her place in line. The white person would then step in front of my grandmother as if this was the natural order of things. After this happening on a couple of occasions, my mother spoke out. She said something to the effect of, "My grandmother's check is just as good as anybody else's check in this store." That created a disturbance, and suddenly my father, along with another family member, rushed in. They took us back to my grandmother's house, and we began packing our clothes. While we were hastily packing, my grandmother said to my mother, "You just don't understand how things are down here." They then rushed us back to the store where another crowd had assembled, but this time the bus was there. They loaded us on the bus and we were literally ran out of town. Those things that my grandmother was referring to were black codes. Therefore, you can see how the restriction of our liberties as blacks made its way through the annals of American history, how this positioned us to be economically unequal to white America, and it was by design. But if you were not a baby of the baby boomer generation, it's likely that you were not aware of black codes. I'm confident that if you are of Generation X or afterwards, you certainly didn't get taught this in your American history class. Nevertheless, the resilience of Black America has always inspired us to fight on. Some Black Americans today are not just equal, but in some cases are economically in better standings than any other American citizen. But don't take my word for it. Please go do your own research on black codes. The National Geographic Society is one of many sources you can access to read about it. Now, tune in tomorrow as my good friend Derek is going to talk to you about Garrett Morgan. And always remember, Black history is American history. Take care.